Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Radiohead's The Bends and Hail to the Thief. And I'm sorry if I've been posting to YouTube in a while, I've just been on a short break. But anyways, I'm going to talk about Hail to the Thief first, and I find it really good. I feel like its biggest sin is just the album structure. It's just very disjointed and it's kind of messy, which has its own charm to it, but I feel like this album would be much more appreciated and would be much more highly rated if it was just differently structured, because it's a mess for where it is right now. But I don't blame Radiohead for this, because from what I've heard, Radiohead only had a month to make this album and they had to get out of a deal with the record label EMI, so they just had to scramble to make something quick, and Hail to the Thief is what they made. And the fact that they got this done in a month is insane. Like, it is great. There are no bad songs on this record, in my opinion. Again, I think its biggest sin is just the structure. And let me talk about some of my favorite songs on this record. First is 2 plus 2 equals 5. It is a really good rock track, and I feel like the best elements of this album are the harmonies, the drums, and just how full everything sounds. Just the insane, in-your-face percussion and guitars are really good, but the harmonies, every time Radiohead does harmonies, they nail it every time. And that's just the case here. That's the case here as well. They just nail the harmonies every single fucking time. And they have a lot of harmonies on a lot of these songs, which I appreciate a lot. And the songs just carry this entire album to the point where I don't even really care a whole lot about the song structure, or that, not the song structure, the album structure, because it's just how good the songs are. And then their sit down, stand up, or maybe stand up and sit down. I forgot the order. But that's also a really good song with a very good build up, and the ending explosion with a bunch of drums. It is very, very good and just immediately gets you pumped up. And then we get to Calm Down with Sail to the Moon. And I find Sail to the Moon to be a really good piano ballad, and it is really good as well. I feel like the next two tracks, which I kind of forgot the name of, I'll be honest, are just good. They're good. I don't feel like they're a whole lot above a bunch of other Radiohead songs. They have some interesting elements here and there, but it's just overall good. But then we have Where I End and You Begin, which is one of my favorites from this album. It is super groovy. It has one of the catchiest guitar riffs and bass riffs, in my opinion. It is great. It is just super catchy. It is instantly catchy, and it is great. It's very groovy. It's a fucking great track. I don't know what else to say. And then we have We Suck Young Blood, which might be one of my least favorite. I'm not sure if it is my least favorite concretely yet, but I really love the harmonies on this track. I just feel like the claps are a little bit out of place, and that's why I feel like a remaster and a reworking would be good for this album as well. Just because, not only for the song structure, or not this, I keep saying song structure, the album structure, but also just some of the mixing a little bit as well. And also, the next track, The Gloaming, also isn't amazing. It's good, but again, it's just good in my opinion. But then we have one of Radiohead's best songs. Out of nowhere, There. It is great. One of Radiohead's best songs. It is instantly catchy as well. It has really good drums at the beginning and throughout the entire song. The guitar and the bass are super full in this song. I know, right in your face, but in a good way. It's not like overly loud or anything. It is just calm, but really good. And the harmonies, the harmonies are fucking brilliant on this track. I feel like nobody's really talking about the harmonies on this track, when I feel like it makes up a huge portion of this song, and also the guitar solo at the end is really good as well. That entire track is just flawless in my opinion. It is one of Radiohead's best songs, period. And I feel like the second half is actually pretty strong. And then we have I Will, which is also really good with the falsetto that Tom presents. His voice on this album is fucking amazing. Like, his falsetto is really good, and the harmonies, as well, as I said already, just to reiterate, are fucking really good, and Radiohead does it, nails it every single fucking time. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And then we have A Punch Drunk at a Wedding, which is also good. It is not amazing, but it's good, and Then we have Scatterbrain, which is also really good. And actually, no, we have. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. M- I can't pronounce it. Mixtosis. I forgot the fucking name. I'm sorry, but you guys know what it is. Third to last track, and I really like that track as well. It's super bassy, and I really loved. It's In Your Face again, just like a bunch of these songs on this album, but it's really good, and I really love how In Your Face it is and how boomy it is. And then now we have Scatterbrain, which I feel like is also really beautiful and is really highlights how beautiful Tom's voice is without a bunch of harmonies, which I would generally kind of just say, but I really just love the chord progression on his voice, and I just love how he sings this entire song, and the guitars, well, not the chord progression of his voice. I mean the guitar chords are fucking beautiful on the song, and just the way Tom sings is fucking amazing on the song as well. And then I actually have one of my favorites as the closing track, A Wolf at the Door. And the funny thing is, this is actually the closest Radiohead has ever gotten to rap, which is funny. If you just listen to the verses, it just kind of sounds like rap, but I kind of like it. It kind of fits, funnily enough, a little bit. But I do really like a wolf at the door, and also like the symbolism as well. It's one of the only tracks where I actually actually pay attention to the kind of the symbolism and what it's trying to say, because I don't listen to the lyrics a whole lot. As you guys have already seen, I don't like pay attention to a bunch of the politics and all these songs. I just pay attention to how good these songs sound. And this song also just sounds brilliant. It sounds good. It's basically almost flawless in my opinion. Is one of my favorites on the album. Probably my third favorite, only behind Where I End and You Begin. But yeah, that's gonna be it for Hail to the Thief. I know I talked a lot about this album, but that's because I had a lot to say about this album. I talked about a bunch of songs. But now we have The Bends, which I feel like is, as I said, a little bit just I feel like is a little bit worse than Hail to the Thief, but not by much. And I feel like that 90s aesthetic is actually really good on this record. And sorry. And also, I really do like some of the songs on here. For example, the starting track, Planet Telex, is a really good album opener, and in fact, it was made during the OK Computer era, which is why it all sounds spacey and computer-like, kind of, and sounds like you're literally landing on a planet. I love that. And his voice, also extremely high vocal register, especially in the early days of Radiohead, is really apparent as well, which I like as well, and it's a really good album opener. And then The Bends, which is super in your face, but in a good way. As I said, it has that 90s aesthetic, but in a good way. It is great. It has a really catchy hook with the really powerful drums on the bridge, and I really like the very loud and like screaming guitars at some points. And then we have High and Dry, which I actually find to be just good. It's not like amazing to me. I actually found it one of my favorites, but now that I've listened to the second half of this album, it's good, but I feel like it's not amazing. But then we have Fake Plastic Trees, which is really good, and it is one of my favorites. It's super emotional, and it is beautiful. It is fucking just beautiful is the perfect word to describe that song. And then we have Bones, which is good. It's a standard rock track. Actually, it's just okay. It's a decent rock track, and that's it. It has some pretty good high vocal register from. It has a pretty good high vocal register from Tom, and but that's about it. And really good guitars, but that's about it. It just sounds kind of average for Radiohead. And then we have Nice Dream, which a lot of people actually find to be their favorite. I find it good, but not much more than that. And then we have Just, which is actually one of my favorites. I just love how many different sounds are in this fucking song. There are so many chords, and it actually was like a competition between Johnny Greenwood, the guitarist for Radiohead, and Tom, the singer, to just make the most chords in a single song, and I feel like they succeeded. They had a bunch of fucking chords in this song. It is really catchy, even though it has a bunch of chords, which is surprising. And the music video, which I also don't really mention a whole lot, It's also really interesting. I suggest you check it out as one of the best music videos I've ever seen. It is very, very well directed. If you want to like hear like it's like see a story in a music video, that is a really good music video for that. But then we have My Iron Lung, which is basically an antithesis. Sorry, an antithesis to Creep. It is just the rival to Creep, and I feel like it is better than Creep. It is catchy. Is Tom's vocals on this fucking track, man. Just how it sounds, how he sings this track is so beautiful as well, and I really just love the melody as well, the non-perfect guitars, and then the super loud guitars on the chorus is great as well. I really just love this song. I feel like it is better than Creep. Um, Not to say Creep is bad, because I do find Creep a good song, but I just feel like Iron Lung is better. And then we have Bulletproof, I Wish I Was, which I feel like is just a better version of High and Dry. You can get mad at me for that. I don't blame you if you do. But I just feel like it is more beautiful and really brings out his vocals way more. And the guitar I feel like is a little bit more beautiful and not kind of, plain like I feel like it kind of was in High and Dry, if that makes sense. Um, but then we have the two just decent songs. We have Black Star, which I feel like is just decent. It's a decent rock track, but not a whole lot more than that, in my opinion. And Sulk, which is also decent. But then we have my favorite track on the record, and it is a perfect bridge between the Bends and OK Computer, and really just sets the mood for OK Computer. Street Spirit or Fade Out. It is fucking really good. I love the creepy guitar. I love his haunting vocal melodies and just how good this fucking song sounds. How it builds. Oh my god, there are so many like elements to this song. It just keeps building and building and building, but it doesn't like get like super bombastic like you would expect. It just keeps on building and building and building, but staying calm and creepy, and I love that. And it is really is fucking brilliant. I really love this song, and again, it is a perfect bridge between the Bends and OK Computer, and it really just gives that sound to what kind of OK Computer would sound like. And yeah, that's basically it. I've talked about both of these albums for a while now, but I've had a lot of things to say, and that's why I did. But anyways, that's going to be about it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.